To understand the issue with Landon Donovan and asking U.S. fans to cheer for Mexico in the World Cup, you have to go deeper than the surface. It's not that simple. That's what we're going to do today, my friends. I know it's the internet and we're used to 3-minute videos of outrage. We're like, I can't believe it. Outrage. Rah. But I'm going to ask you to stick with me as we kind of unpack this a little bit to truly understand what's going on here and why it is so bad, not just on Landon, with this marketing campaign. And I know we're less than a minute into this video, and I'm going to cut in here and say this has absolutely nothing really to do with Mexico. It's just that that's the team that Landon wants through marketing dollars, U.S. soccer fans to support. It has nothing to do with the dislike of the Mexican national team. I actually really thought their win over Germany, 1-0, was quite impressive. So save your nasty comments about U.S. soccer didn't qualify. Ooh. I'd feel the same way if we had a really big rivalry with Panama or Costa Rica, and he wanted U.S. fans through marketing dollars to cheer for that as well. So hold on. You actually need to watch this whole video to understand what's happening. So if you're not familiar, let me ask you some questions. If Brazil hadn't made the World Cup, what would Brazilians feel if Pele or Neymar told them to cheer for Argentina? If Liverpool missed out on the Champions League, how would Liverpool fans feel if Steven Gerrard told them to cheer for Everton? Would Manchester United fans support Manchester City? Would Barcelona fans support Real Madrid? I think we all know the answers to that question. So if you've somehow missed this story, that exact scenario played out with Landon Donovan, who is a U.S. men's national team legend. He's the leading goal scorer. He's tied with Clint Dempsey, but technically the leading goal scorer still, tied for first in all of U.S. history, came out via sponsored tweet by Wells Fargo and told U.S. fans to cheer for Mexico. That's unbelievable. So I'm going to walk you through why this is such an outrage and why Donovan has been getting absolutely justifiably destroyed in the media, from his former teammates, from pundits, from, people on TV. Like, it's an all-around bad look. Let me show you the tweet first. The tournament is here. USA fans, our team may not be in Russia, but our neighbors to the south are, so join me in their proud #sponsor. Wells Fargo to cheer on our other team, Mexico. Vamos, Mexico. Photoshopped scarf, my other team is Mexico. On the other side, it actually says sell out. Cash money. All right. And you'll notice Carlos Bocanegra, another U.S. men's national team legend, is calling him out very simply. We'll get into that in a second. So I just wanted to show that this is what I'm talking about, if you've not seen it. Okay? Okay, so first, let's be clear. It isn't the fact that Donovan, again, tied for most international goals in U.S. men's history, is cheering for the U.S.'s most intense rival. Not that most fans would ever be okay with that, but from a simple, personal branding standpoint, I could kind of understand it. He plays in the Mexican League. He retired. He came out of retirement. He went to the Mexican League to play. So rooting for them would be helping out his image in Mexico. That's pretty smart branding. And he could always say, it's just my personal choice. This is what I want to do. You guys do whatever you want to do. But, that's who I'm cheering for because they're our neighbors to the south and we're hosting World Cup 2026 with them. But that's not what happened. So there are five really main problems with this situation that Donovan or his PR team somehow failed to consider, which is hilarious. All right, let's walk through those. Are you ready? 1, the U.S. didn't qualify. I know that's shocking news if you weren't here from October 2017 to now. The U.S. is actually not in the World Cup. Okay, so fans are salty about that, but we've had 8 months to get over it. I put up that video, and I'm going to put a link up there, where, I literally boo-hooed when we blew it against Trinidad and Tobago and the other results went against us. But we've had 8 months to get over it. That is until the World Cup. Honestly, coming into this World Cup, yeah, do I want the U.S. to be? Yeah, of course. Duh. Of course I want the U.S. to be there. But not having a team in it now, because where I'm recording this, it's the 20th. So we're already into match day 2, right? It's been kind of less stressful, right? Going I just want to see good games and chaos. Again, I would much rather the U.S. be there. But I've had 8 months to process and go like, you know what? There are bigger things in life than the U.S. not making the World Cup. So I think a lot of U.S. fans have kind of gotten to that point. Like, we've gotten some closure. And then the World Cup hits. And a majority of the ads on Fox's coverage of the World Cup, at least in America, because I'm watching it on Fox Sports Go via their website and my TV provider, are commercials like Volkswagen's, hey guys, you didn't qualify, root for us. And it's like Brazil or it's Iceland or whatever. And it in other news, I'm never buying a Volkswagen ever again. So it's not just that like the US didn't make it and it's a big deal if you're an actual US fan, but like the marketing all around Fox has been rubbing salt in the wound of US fans. There's been I can't remember if it was a beer or a liquor company that also did the same thing. Like, you know, cheer for Iceland, you know, like whatever. We make vodka, whatever. And I just think if that happened in other countries that where soccer/football is much, much bigger, I can only imagine the outrage that would happen there. Right? If that happened if Brazil didn't make the World Cup and it was like there were commercials saying like, cheer for Argentina, like I just imagine that would be a big deal in those types of countries, like pretty much everywhere else on earth where football is the biggest sport, right? Okay, so like you have to understand the context that all the marketing around this in the United States has been, you didn't qualify, but cheer for this other team. And it just rubs salt in the wound. Okay, secondly, Landon Donovan is the torchbearer of the U.S. men's team. All-time leading scorer, tied with Clint Dempsey. I mean, maybe he's salty about being left off the 2014 squad by Klinsmann, but just imagine if one of the other greats from any other country that has a rival encouraged fans to cheer for someone else. Not only did that, but took a marketing check to do so. Like, again, if you've got heritage somewhere else, like, if it's friendly, like, I don't know, maybe you could justify personally. Like, I have Irish roots, so, like, I cheer for the Ireland national team, right? They didn't make the World Cup either. But I'm not the leading goal scorer for the U.S. men's national team telling people to go cheer for Ireland. Like, it just seems off, right? Third, speaking of that marketing check, it's not just any company, okay? So I want to walk you through this. It's not just any old company, any old marketing check. It's Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, if you're not familiar, because maybe you're not in the US, is a huge bank. It was heavily involved in the housing crisis and all the bad mortgages 10 years ago. They've also now, more recently, paid millions of dollars in fines to the US government because of shady practices where they opened up accounts in the names of their customers without their customers knowing and without their consent in order to hit sales targets. So it's like if I worked at one of the branches and you had a checking account with my branch, I would seek, and I had to sign up 1,000 people in 6 months for our brokerage services. Well, I just went ahead and signed you up and didn't tell anybody so that I could pad my numbers. Really, really, really shady. And it was like widespread. It wasn't like one branch or one state. It was like widespread and known and dirty. On top of that, they've had what could be most generously said, questionable is what I'm going to say, lending practices with the Latino community. So it's not just marketing money, it's very dirty marketing money, considering who they want us to support and how those people have been treated from the sponsor. And like Wells Fargo is like they're running ads where it's like essentially apologizing in corporate speak in ads. It's all over my YouTube when I watch videos. It's all over TV. It says like reestablish 2018, like we're reestablishing our commitment to the community because they really screwed up. That company is giving Landon Donovan money to encourage people to support the team of Mexico when they've had shady lending practices with Latino communities. It's just amazing. Okay, fourth, when he rightfully got called out by the likes of Carlos Bocanegra, like it put up there, just I could just imagine his teammates, his former teammates, going, really? And that's what Carlos Bocanegra tweeted at him. Donovan doubled down and attacked Carlos's heritage. And I quote, actually, I'll just show it to you. Here we go. You grew up in SoCal and owe much of your soccer skill to playing with Mexicans. Your father is of Mexican descent. Facepalm. Look around our country. Are you happy with how we are treating Mexicans? Open your mind, stand for something, and remember where you came from. Deuce. Heart. Landon, what are you doing? Doubling down and attacking someone's heritage and saying, and essentially equating supporting a soccer/football team with an entire people. It's as if those things can't be separated, right? Like it's as if you can't not like an opponent on the pitch and not support the opponent, like the 18 members of the squad that are potential substitutes and the starting 11. You can't not like them without also hating an entire people group of that country. What? And it's your biggest rival. That it just is unbelievable. And he goes after and attacks Carlos Bocanegra's own heritage as if Carlos hates all Mexicans because he's calling him out for this. I love Mexican people. Like, I know there's a lot in the news that is not very positive about the U.S. as a whole and the policies that are enacted by the president. So, like, I'm not going to get into that because that's highly political. But just because that's happening doesn't mean all of America feels that way. And on top of that, it's the team. You're talking about not liking your biggest rival as a team. You're not saying you hate them as people and you hate their people group and you hate all the people in their country. That's absolutely absurd and a really weird way to double down. Like, I would have much preferred if Donovan said, you know what, guys? The money was too good. Like, I don't really feel this way, but I took the check. You know, support El Tree. Because then you go like, I still don't like it, but they paid you. Okay, like, whatever. But to double down and to call out another U.S. men's national team legend about his own heritage and equate not liking your rival to hating all people of that people group is absolutely insane and, like, is a stretch, you could say. And by the way, he deleted that tweet with the reply back to Carlos Bocanegra because someone finally woke up in his PR group and was like, Landon, bad idea. Stop doubling down. And kind of issued like a, you know, he wrote it in notes on his iPhone and like shared a lengthy thing about it, blah, blah, blah. So kind of a mea culpa, like, oops, my bad. But, you know, he's not deleting the tweet telling you to cheer for Mexico. Classic. Lastly, and this is the big part, so hopefully you've made it because I've rambled on for 12 minutes, but I hope you understand why this isn't just Landon Donovan, you know, wants to support Mexico. It's not that simple. Guess who has a significant ownership of Mexican national team marketing efforts in the U.S.? There's this organization called Soccer United Marketing, and this is the big deal. So Soccer United Marketing is the shadowy organization that not many people know about, and it's not very publicly, it's not out there very well. Like they're quite hidden. That runs marketing for MLS, US Soccer, and they also do a portion of the Mexican national team. So like when those friendlies are set up in Dallas for the Mexican national team, Soccer United Marketing is involved. They take in millions of dollars in revenue and share some of it with MLS, US Soccer, and the Mexican national team, depending on what, you know, what the marketing effort is, or what, you know, like if they sold the TV rights, if they sold them for the Mexican national team, that money goes to them, right? Or a revenue share of that goes to them, right? So the odds that this entire campaign with Landon Donovan and commercials and the tweet and all that with Wells Fargo, the odds that that was coordinated by Soccer United Marketing is very, very, very likely. I can't prove it, but it's very, very, very likely. Which means the organization that is supposed to help generate as much revenue as possible for U.S. Soccer through U.S. Soccer fans, through marketing rights, through ticket sales, all that, through U.S. fans, has agreed upon a marketing campaign with the U.S.'s top goal scorer, tied, to rub salt in the wound of U.S. fans, encouraging support of the U.S.'s biggest rival in order to enrich the organization, and obviously trying to get people to watch those games because they own the rights to those games, and I guarantee you were involved in the Fox Sports deal. And that might be the most disgusting part of all of this. So it isn't just that he took money and he was here to cheer for our rival. It's a much deeper issue. There's multiple layers to it. I love your thoughts in the comments, assuming, and maybe you don't get to this part because you've already left a nasty comment. One of the things I've learned about the internet with videos like this, like the video I did on Jonathan Gonzalez, where I said, should the U.S. fans be laughing at Jonathan Gonzalez for not making the World Cup? And if you actually watch the whole, like, less than 4-minute video, I said absolutely not, because he at least had a chance to go to the World Cup, and we didn't. The number of comments I got that was like, lol, U.S. sucks, you suck, your hairline's stupid, like, all kinds of really just like, okay, delete that, whatever types comments, was kind of asinine. So I'm trying to give you a deeper analysis than this than just like I said at the beginning, like outrage, roar. It's really a bigger concern about how it all played out and who's really behind it. So if you've got an educated comment you want to share, make sure you drop down into the comment box and share that. Let's have a discussion. Hit the like button if you don't mind. But if you're going to be like, lol, US didn't make it, like, don't bother, because I may just delete it, because that's just silly. You know, congrats to Mexico. Like, again, I just want to see good games. I don't actually hate Mexico. I'm not cheering for them, but I don't hate them. And the fact that they outplayed Germany, really impressive. Of course, Germany essentially had their fullbacks playing as wingers and, you know, 2 center backs, so it was rather easy to counter them. I'm not saying it was that easy. It was well planned out by Osorio. Juan Carlos Osorio. Osorio, not Osario. Anyway, so hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about all this, and we'll see you in the next video that we're doing on U.S. Soccer and the World Cup. I'm going to talk about VAR next. That's coming up, so make sure you subscribe as well.